Imagine seeing your friend or family member and knowing that's them, and then realizing it was never them.
His mother is from Trinidad and she is no stranger to Obeah. But James never thought that his mother would ever use Obeah against his girlfriend.
There is something terrifying about realizing your house might not be as empty as you think, especially when the evidence only appears after you fall asleep.
That she eventually tried to sell her soul for it. And according to her, something accepted the offer, but it never made her famous. It just started taking things from her.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you.
Something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me always. Money coming in all day. Money coming in all paid. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, this is money coming. It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, this is money coming.
Story is tragic. Somebody said that they never told their ex-girlfriend the entire truth about what really happened to her. I am back with another spooky story. Apparently, his mother was working Obeah on his girlfriend and he found out when it was too late. So we're gonna call the person who submitted the story James. So James says that he started dating this girl. We're gonna call her Janine. So Janine was James's first love. Said he never felt that way about any other woman. That was the first woman he ever brought home. He wishes that he had it. Now Janine was the woman that he was going to marry, the woman that was going to carry his children. However, his mother had other plans. His mother never liked his girlfriend. He remembers from the first time he brought her home, his mother barely looked at her. She was polite, but there was something strange about the way his mother was watching her. One night after his girlfriend left, his mother asked him, "Did she take anything from this house?" He laughed because Janine would never, but the mother was dead serious. He said, "No, I mean anything personal, hair, clothes, anything." He's like, "No, like what is that about?" Now backstory. His mother is from Trinidad and she is no stranger to Obeah. But James never thought that his mother would ever use Obeah against his girlfriend. Well, a few weeks later, his girlfriend started changing. At first, it was little things. She stated that she was having the same nightmare every night. She would dream that she was standing outside of James' mother's house, except in the dream the house looked abandoned. She could hear his mother calling her from inside. Every time she walks towards the door, she would hear a woman's voice whisper to her, "Don't go inside." She would wake up sweating. Things got worse. She started finding strange things around her apartment. She found an unalived bird in front of her door once. It's possible the bird could have crashed into her door. It was a black bird and it was this ominous feeling attached to it. She also said that she could feel someone sitting on her bed at night, but she just couldn't see them. She would see the mattress sink beside her. Sometimes she would jump out of her sleep because she can feel fingers dragging through her hair. Janine became afraid to sleep by herself. She would sometimes go over to his house or he would go and spend the night with her. And eventually, James started seeing things too. One night, he was staying at her apartment, and around 3 a.m., he woke up because he heard his girlfriend talking. She was sitting upright in the bed. Her eyes were wide open, and she wasn't looking at him. She was staring at the corner. And he asked her who she was talking to, and she said, "My mother-in-law." She pointed towards the corner. There was no one there. She said to him, "Apparently, you weren't supposed to be with me." At this point, that's when James had a clue. His mother was definitely doing something, so he confronted her the following day. And his mother said, "I warned you about bringing that girl into my house." And she went on to say that she was his first love and that he would never replace her. Things with his mother was strange for a while after that, but he started investigating. He eventually found out that his mother had been collecting things connected to his girlfriend. He found a picture of her underwear that she had left at their house. She had one of her hair ties and some other miscellaneous things. He confronted his mother about it. She didn't deny it. He begged her to stop, because by then Janine was barely functioning. She stopped sleeping, she lost weight, she became paranoid. She was terrified of mirrors because she claimed that there was a woman standing behind her every time she looked into a mirror. Her apartment became a living terror. She heard knocks on her window, meanwhile she lives on the 4th floor. And oftentimes she would call him to go over there, and he would get there and there's nothing he can do to help because there's no one there. His girlfriend eventually told him that every time she's around him, it gets worse. And at this point, she was at no capacity to take care of herself, let alone be in a relationship. Janine's family came down and they moved her away. That was pretty much the end of their relationship. Janine changed her number, has no idea where Janine left to. But after over a year, he heard from some mutual friends that Janine was okay. But he doesn't know whether it's a coincidence or not. But after Janine recovered, his mother winded up passing away. Before she passed, he spoke to her about Janine again, and his mother had absolutely no remorse. He says he's moved on, he has a new girlfriend, but he still thinks about Janine, but worse, how his mother ruined that relationship. He's having a hard time forgiving her in death. Anyway, that was the end of that story. I'm beating the part 2 allegations. Make sure you leave a comment down below letting me know what type of stories that you want to hear. Your favorite Haitian homegirl.
Imagine wanting to be famous so badly that you're willing to sell your soul for it. Not necessarily to be rich and have money and be able to live comfortably, but for people to know your name because you're so desperate for attention. First of all, I would rather have $1 million, have millions of dollars than being famous, because sometimes you don't know what you're asking for, because you might not even be able to sleep at night because everywhere you go, or even enjoy a meal, because everywhere you go, people just recognize you, and meanwhile you're broke. Hey y'all, welcome back to All Things Jenny. I'm Jenny, and let's get into these crazy story time of people selling their soul for the craziest things. And also, I have some Caribbean Obeah story time as well. Welcome to the channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let's get into it.
A follower sent me this story about her childhood best friend who wanted to be famous so badly that she eventually tried to sell her soul for it. And according to her, something accepted the offer, but it never made her famous. It just started taking things from her. And before I get into this story, as always, there's no way for me to verify any of it. This was sent to me by a follower named Brittany, and she said that this happened to her childhood best friend several years ago. So, as always, take it as entertainment and decide for yourselves what you believe, because Brittany herself still isn't entirely convinced that what happened was supernatural, but she also can't disprove it either. She just knows that after her friend tried this ritual, she watched someone that she'd known almost her entire life slowly become unrecognizable. And Brittany called her friend Elizabeth. They grew up together, same neighborhood, same schools, same group of friends. And from the time that Elizabeth was a teenager, there was one thing that she wanted more than anything else, and that was to be famous. Not necessarily like rich, but just famous. Brittany said Elizabeth used to joke that she'd rather millions of people know her name and hate her than live an ordinary life where nobody knew that she even existed out of their small little town. And at first, it seemed kind of harmless. Elizabeth tried acting, nothing happened. She tried singing, nothing happened as well. Then social media really exploded, and Elizabeth became convinced that this was finally her ticket, out. And this was her big opportunity. And for years, she posted consistently skits, story times, makeup videos, trends, live streams, get ready with me, you name it. She bought better cameras, better lighting, better equipment. I mean, she changed her appearance. She studied successful creators obsessively, but nothing ever worked. And a video would get, 300 views, 200 views, 80 views. And she'd gain, some followers, and then she'd lose them the following week. And Brittany said that the lack of success slowly became like an obsession with her. And Elizabeth stopped asking, how do I make better videos? And instead she would ask, like, why doesn't anybody choose me? And then one night, Brittany was at Elizabeth's apartment when Elizabeth said something that made her laugh at first. And Elizabeth said that, maybe I should just sell my soul. And Brittany laughed it off, and told her, like, oh, you're just being dramatic, cut it out. But Elizabeth didn't laugh. She told Brittany that she'd been researching it actually for quite some time. Not the Hollywood version where, the devil appears and, you shake hands, sign a contract, and, Shabbat Shalom, you're on your way, whatever. No, none of that crap. She had apparently found an old forum post and occult discussions claiming that if you wanted something badly enough, you could make an offering. And Brittany immediately told her not to mess with it. And Elizabeth's response was, at this point, what do I have to lose? And Brittany would remember that, those words for years, because apparently quite a few weeks had passed at this point. Then Elizabeth called Brittany at around 2 a.m, and she was absolutely terrified. And Elizabeth was telling her that, I did something really stupid, and Brittany immediately knew what she was talking about and what she meant. Elizabeth refused to explain exactly what had happened, but she did admit that she performed some kind of ritual alone in her bedroom. And she'd written, what she wanted on a piece of paper: recognition, success, millions of people knowing her face, and supposedly she offered whatever was required in return. And she told Brittany that nothing happened at first. There were no voices, no shadows, no mysterious figure appearing in the room. So eventually Elizabeth felt stupid. She cleaned up everything, and she went to bed. But that night she had a horrible nightmare. Elizabeth dreamed that she was lying on her back inside of this narrow dirt tunnel, and she couldn't sit up, she couldn't turn around. All she could do was crawl backwards while something very strongly held onto her ankles and slowly was dragging her deeper and deeper underground. She couldn't see whatever had her, but she could hear it breathing. And every time that she tried digging her fingers into the dirt to stop herself, she heard people whispering her name from somewhere beneath her at the bottom of that dirt tunnel. Thousands of voices. Elizabeth woke up screaming. Her ankles hurt so badly she could barely stand. And Brittany dismissed it as nightmare because, caused by what she had done. Sometimes when you think about something a lot, you have a bad dream, until it happened again and again the next night. And same tunnel, same hands around her ankles, same voices, except this time they were a little bit closer. And over the next few weeks, Elizabeth began changing. She barely slept. Brittany said that her friend started developing dark circles under her eyes, and she started losing weight rapidly, and her skin started to look like she was deteriorating. And then her hair started coming out, not just like a few strands here and there, in the shower. Elizabeth would run her fingers through her hair and clumps of it would come out. And then her gums started bleeding, and sometimes she would wake up in the morning with dried red stuff all around her mouth. And she would go to the doctors, and Brittany said that there were a bunch of tests done, appointments and different explanations were considered, but from what Elizabeth had told her, nothing seemed to explain what was happening, and there was no apparent reason for it to be all happening at once. And then came the smell. Elizabeth began complaining about the smell of wet soil and rotten eggs in her apartment. And to Brittany, she smelled it too. She described it as walking into a basement after a heavy rain, except Elizabeth lived several floors up. And then one afternoon, Brittany came over and she found Elizabeth standing completely still in the hallway. She was staring at the floor outside of her bedroom, and there was dirt on the carpet. Just a small amount though, and it was a thin trail of dark soil running from beneath Elizabeth's bed across the bedroom and stopping right at the doorway. Brittany assumed that Elizabeth, had tracked it in, definitely possible, but Elizabeth insisted that she hadn't, and she never left the apartment that day. And that's when she finally told Brittany something that she'd been keeping from her. The nightmares had changed, but, she wasn't just being dragged through the tunnel anymore. Now she was reaching the end of it, and there was something waiting there. And Elizabeth never described exactly what it looked like. She only said that it was crouched because the tunnel was not tall and wide enough for it to stand. And every night it was facing away from her until that final nightmare. That night, Elizabeth reached the bottom of the tunnel. The thing was waiting, and it turned around to see her. Elizabeth woke up screaming so loudly that, her neighbors called the police. And according to Brittany, from that night forward, Elizabeth refused to sleep in her bedroom, and she started sleeping with every light on, and, the apartment, everything was turned on, TV, you name it. Then strange things began happening while she was awake. She'd hear scratching underneath, her bed. She would hear scratching underneath the dining room table while she's eating breakfast. Her phone would start recording, even though she never touched it. She'd hear what sounded like somebody was crawling through the walls at night and during the day. She can never explain any of it. And the strangest part, her content suddenly started doing a lot better. A few videos broke hundreds of thousands views, a couple hit over 1 million. Her followers started to go up. Everything started to climb. But now she was paying a price for it. And Brittany thought that she would be excited, but she wasn't. She's like, if I just want to give it all back, I'm done with this. I don't want this anymore. and she ended up having to move away. And Brittany, since that time, Brittany has not heard from her in over 2 years. She deleted all of her content, she stopped posting everything. She just threw everything away, and she just walked away from everything. And Brittany has not seen Elizabeth since. And sometimes when you make a deal with something like that, you're not prepared for it to come to collect, because this thing, whatever it was, it came to collect, and she was not ready for it. I mean, she would wake up with dirt packed under her fingernails. I mean, like stuff was getting real. So I don't know, you got to be careful what you ask for, because sometimes you are going to get it, and whoever or whatever you asked for it is going to come and give it to you. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
I mean, I don't know what kind of ritual that young lady did or what entity she called into her home, but she got what she wanted. I mean, her videos were going viral, and yeah, she was probably not making any money from it, because this is why I say you have to be very specific on what it is that you want, what you're asking, because you just might get it, right? You just never know. You don't want to do something in the off chance that it won't work, because what if it does work and then you summon something into your home or into your life? It's just some of those things you got to be very, very careful with. Now, I don't know if this story is an actual story, but there are things that you tap into that you cannot send away. You don't know how to send them away, because you don't even know the name of the demon that you're summoning. If that was a demon, I don't know what it was, but she fucked around and found out. Let's get into the next story.
Imagine seeing your friend or family member and knowing that's them, and then realizing it was never them. Cause this is 8 o'clock in the morning, okay? So why not give you guys a story time? So let's not waste no time and let's get into it. For this story, we're gonna call her Bella. So Bella believes that she has a lot of mimic activity going on, and that something is following her. Because not only did this happen at one house, it happened at 2 houses. So the first house she lived in, it was Bella's mom, and it was her 3-year-old daughter. So also at her house is her friend Jessica, because she's spending the night that night. It's getting late into the night, so Bella ended up going upstairs to put her daughter to bed. So while Bella is putting her daughter to bed, she overhears Jessica on the phone. Long story short, Jessica decides she is not going to spend the night, and she's going to go visit another friend. So Bella's still in the room putting her daughter to sleep. So she hears the front door open, and she knows that Jessica is leaving because she's about to go see another friend. So as Bella's still putting her daughter to sleep, she noticed Jessica walk into the bedroom that's across from her, which is their computer room. So Jessica walks in, she sits down on the computer, and she didn't say anything. So Bella tried to whisper her name because she doesn't want to wake up her daughter. Jessica didn't say anything. So Bella turns her head back to look at her daughter. She notices her daughter is asleep. So she turns back to look at Jessica to tell Jessica, hey, come on, let's go. Jessica still did not respond, so she walks over into the bedroom, turned the light on to see that no one is in there. Bella said that scared her to death, and to this day, she does not know how to explain it or what even really happened. But she knows she saw someone in that room. Okay, so fast forward, Bella ended up moving into a new house. It's the same people. It's Bella, it's her daughter, it's Bella's mom, and also now Bella's boyfriend is living with them. So by this time, it's kind of late. It's like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Bella and her boyfriend end up getting into an argument, and Bella decides to sleep in her mom's room because her mom and her daughter is actually having like a little slumber party sleepover in the living room, so the mom was not in there. So Bella starts to drift off into sleep. And you know how like you're half sleep, half up, you're not all the way asleep? That's the state that she was in. So Bella ended up fully waking up because she felt someone get in the bed behind her, and she also felt a body press against her. So whatever it was started to rub her hair and whisper in her ear, you're alone. So she said it sounds like her boyfriend's voice, and before she even fully heard the voice, she just assumed it was her boyfriend anyway, because who else is getting in the bed behind her? So she turns over to cuddle with her boyfriend face to face. No one's there. She said every hair on her body stood up. She got up and ran out of that room so fast. Bella did say a lot of activity went on in the house. It wasn't just that, it was things that happened way more than that. Now, she did give a backstory on the house that said that it was someone that died inside the house, and it was someone that died on the property outside of the house. And to end the story off, y'all, she still lives in the house. So again, y'all, if you guys have any stories that you want to submit to me, you can email it to me. The email is in my bio, or you can DM it to me on here. Until next time, y'all, enjoy this story.
There is something terrifying about realizing your house might not be as empty as you think, especially when the evidence only appears after you fall asleep. Imagine this. Every night at exactly 3:13 a.m., you hear footsteps in the hallway. Slow, one step at a time, step, step, step. Then they stop directly outside your bedroom door. You don't hear their door open. You don't hear anyone leave. Just silence. So you convince yourself it was just a dream. Until the next night, it happens again. But now, the footsteps sounds closer. And then you notice something strange. Your bedroom door is open 1 inch more than you left it. The next morning, your phone is on the opposite side of the room. You know you didn't move it. Then your closet door is more slightly open. Then your shoes aren't where you left them. Nothing is missing, nothing is broken. Something is simply being moved. And that's what makes it worse, because whoever or whatever is doing it don't seem interested in hurting you. It seems interested in letting you know it's there. So now you have to choose. Would you rather hear footsteps outside your door every night, or wake up every morning with one thing in your room moved? You can't pick neither. Which one are you surviving? And what would you check first?
Hey guys, I'm Jenny and this is Shameless Plug. So I want to tell you guys about my Crown of Success manifestation book with easy, simple rituals and spells to manifest a life of abundance in your life. And those spells are so easy, even a child can do it. So this book is filled with different spells that I've learned over the years from my family, passed down from grandma and everything. And also those are spells that I've actually tried and I know that they work. So this book not only teaches you step by step on the things that you can do that are so easy that a child can do it, but it tells you like the proper moon phase to use, alchemy, manifesting with numbers, numerology, and also the days of the week that best fit for this particular spell. So it tells you the timing of when to practice the spell, the days of the week, the moon phase. It shows you all the colors of the candles that you should be using and different planets. So for example, I show you like planet Jupiter is for Thursdays and the hours of the days that you should be doing the spell. So this is an easy road opener spell. So I know a lot of people like to do like different spell work, but if your roads are blocked, of course your spells are not going to work. So it's good to unblock yourself first and then start using the spell, especially with the new years and the new days to come. And also I have some amazing spells in here. This is a powerful quick money spell. So if you're in a bind for some money and you're just trying to get some money, and I even have some easy powerful spell to win game of chance. So if you are a gambler, now I don't promote gambling, but if you are a gambler and you're just trying to make some money and trying to make sure you win, these spells will definitely help you. It tells you the best days to do it. So it says the best days to perform this spell is on a Thursday, Jupiter day. Jupiter is the planet of good fortune, luck, and expansion. Jupiter is the best day to perform spells that boost luck and increase your chance of success in any game of chance or any money spell, period. It has a list of so many spells that you can incorporate in your life with this new year to bring prosperity. And I even put some bonus spells on here, which for Saturday is a day to do like protection work. So I have a spell for like send back to sender. So I put some bonus spells on here, and then a protection with Archangel Michael. So there's so many spells on here. Removing the evil eye spell, so you can remove evil eye in your money and also in your everyday life. New Year home blessing spell, and I know it's been a few days since the new year started, but you can always do a home blessing spell any days of the week. As long as you need it, you could do it. So anyways, guys, this is my book. It's called Crown of Success by Jenny, and it's available on Amazon, the ebook and also the physical copying. So please grab a copy if you're interested in supporting this channel. This is a way to support the channel and to support me as well for putting out, content every day for you guys to enjoy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this book, and I hope you go and grab your copy, whether it's the ebook or the physical copy. I say have a physical copy, but it's really up to how much, your wallet and what you can afford. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Mwah. This is a shameless plug, so just check out my channel, okay? Love you guys. Mwah.